What's up, guys? My name is Joe Moeller. None of you know who I am because this is my first YouTube video. But I am an average college student, pretty typical. You can see the books in the background for studying and whatnot. But I can't help but take notice of a lot of the things that's been going on in our culture here, especially over the past 2 years, and especially with recently with the Parkland shooting and whatnot. It's really just kind of put a burden on me, to be honest, with the way things are going and seeing all the radical sides on each political spectrum. And I remember in high school I was extremely opinionated and I thought I was right on everything and whatnot, as I'm sure we all were. We all thought we knew everything. And then when you get into college, it's kind of like poof, it just, everything that you thought you knew, you're not so sure about it anymore because it's challenged. And I think that's a healthy thing. But I really wanted to narrow in on this whole issue with gun control in the United States, because it's something, I grew up in a conservative family. We believe in the Second Amendment, and it's just been interesting watching everything transpire and see the mood of the country and where the polls are and whatnot with people's opinions on the Second Amendment. And I just kind of wanted to offer some thoughts for some people on how the whole issue should be addressed. And especially, we have advocates like David Hogg, who's out there, advocating gun control, and really what we should be doing to fix the problem. And one of the things I really want to focus on is getting stuff done. I think, one of the reasons, whether or not you like him, one of the reasons Donald Trump got elected was because he ran on, we're going to get things done, folks. That's one thing that he said all throughout the campaign was, we're going to get things done. And I think what people want to see when it comes to school safety is it's pretty universal. We want to stop seeing kids get shot. And that's where I am, at least. I have 3 sisters, and I have plenty. I grew up going to school, and I can't imagine what it would be like to have to be a parent nowadays and really not know if your kids are going to come back. You see it all over the news, and it would be very concerning, to say the least. And I think that all Americans agree that we want to stop seeing gun violence in schools. And so the part where I'm just kind of, I don't want to be too aggressive in what I say, but just kind of dumbfounded with the media and a lot of just basically these left-wing advocates is, and this is me as a conservative just really having some questions, is why do we always jump to the most partisan issues? And actually, I'm going to take it back. It's not just left-wing groups that do it. Right-wing groups do it all the time as well. Why do we always jump to the most, partisan issues? Everybody knows good and well that the hardest thing right now to get passed in Congress is gun reform. Okay, you got a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican president. Okay, you had a much better shot back when the Democrats ran it in 2008. And so why do we think that it's going to be, that's the first issue we should jump on? Why don't we jump on issues that are more, I don't know, unifying, like, security in schools? Or how about the fact that, because let's be honest, let's start at the beginning, what the real problem is. I see 2 issues. If you disagree with me, you're welcome to comment. But I see 2 main issues. One, an 18-year-old being able to have access to an AR-15 with unlimited rounds of ammo who's mentally ill. I think that that's ridiculous. That should never happen. That's a problem. And that's kind of what David Hogg and a lot of the left are really going after with the gun control. And that's a problem. I'll acknowledge that. That's a big problem. But I think the other issue is that this idiot could walk into a school. I mean, how can you walk into a school with an AR-15 and not be met with lethal force? That doesn't make any sense. Can you imagine if somebody tried to do that at the White House? Can you imagine if someone tried to do that in any other government building? I mean, we have, it's not algebra, or it's not calculus, or it's not complicated. We don't need to, try to figure out, well, how do we secure the schools? Like, we do it with plenty of other buildings, folks. I mean, go to Washington, D.C., try to walk in with an AR-15 into the Treasury. It won't work. Okay, you're not going to do it. You're going to be shot dead. And what doesn't make sense to me is how we send innocent little kids into buildings and they get shot up. They get shot up. And the first thing that we jump to is the most partisan thing. Look, if we're honest, the ultimate goal is to keep kids safe. All right? That's the ultimate goal. Keep kids safe. All right? And so jumping to things that won't actually get done and won't get passed or take a ton of amount of debate and take twice as long as what, say, passing something that's unifying is counterproductive. The first thing we should jump on is what can we get done first so that at least, you know what, let's solve one of the issues, because I said there were two issues, right? One's the guy getting the gun. The second is the fact that he can walk with the gun on the school property and not be met with lethal force. If everybody agrees that he shouldn't be able to walk on to a school, onto school grounds and get and not get shot dead, then solve that problem first. That's not as controversial, because and at least with that we're saving kids' lives. And you know, people will say, well, the guy shouldn't have had access to a gun. You're right, he shouldn't have. And that's step two. That's step two. One thing I've noticed is if you look through all the school shootings over the past, I would say 10 years, every time that this happens, you know, everyone flips out, you know, and we need to do gun control. And again, I'm all open for that debate. I am. I'm just not in for a policy-oriented debate while we're leaving the door open for kids to get shot at school. Let's get past done the things first that we can all agree on. And that's kind of where my stance is. You know, these are kids. I'm not trying to be the perfect political guy who, you know, this is beyond politics, folks. No, I'm just saying there are things that we can all agree on. And I think that, you know, if David Hogg was here and I was talking to him, I think we would have a lot we could agree on. And those are the things that we should be prioritizing. Because honestly, on the issue of guns, we're not going to agree a whole lot. Just a fact. We're not. But I do believe that there are things that we could agree with, such as like school security, making sure that the doors lock and that people can't get through. Stuff like that. Because that's the goal at the end of the day, is let's stop having kids get shot and let's take the most proactive measures we can that everybody agrees on with first. And then after we pass those things, then let's transition over to the more partisan issues where you're going to have a harder time getting that passed. There's no reason to go after the hardest stuff first. We should get the stuff that everybody agrees with on, so that at least, hey, you know, if 3 potential shootings are going to happen in the future, but one of them can be prevented because of school security, then get it done. Get it done. No reason to have all 3 happen when you did nothing. Okay, get it done. And so those are just my thoughts. You know, just a regular college student. Maybe they're worth nothing. They probably aren't. But anyway, that's all I got to say. So.